I'm replacing a coil pack today. Not very exciting, but I thought it's worth a video anyway. I had worn out spark plugs. I've already replaced them as I started to get misfires, and it turned out that the plug gaps were quite bad. They were up to about 1.5 or more millimeters versus the starting spec of 1.3. That sorted out the misfires mostly, but I was still getting some very intermittent ones. So the next suspects are the HT leads and the coils. This Duratec HE is one of the last engines to still use a separate pack. Most modern cars use coil-on-plug setups, which has its pros and cons, but at least this is an easy job. First thing I did was disconnect the battery negative. Partly a good idea for working on ignition anyway, but mostly I'm doing this because I want to reset the ECU's memory of its tune adjustments. Since there have been ignition issues, it might help to start from fresh. The leads just pull off, but you'll want to make sure you know which way they go back on the new pack. These are clipped together, and so they sort of stay in the same layout. That makes it hard to get it wrong, but you might want to just take a photo or something just to make sure. Next, the harness plug to these is a bit hidden, but you can reach it if you snake your arm under the air intake. There's a metal clip on the underside of the plug which you have to push up for it to release. Here's an old video showing it with the airbox removed so that you can see everything. Next, the screws. These are T25 Torx heads. They're quite tight, and if they don't release with a screwdriver easily, you could use a ratchet handle. And the real trick is to fish them all out without dropping any down into the engine bay. I had a new coil pack from Bosch, same as the old. It comes with some instructions regarding the firing order and the HT leads arrangement. Apparently different Ford model numbers equate to different orders. They use a square and a circle and a triangle to number the order by each connector. So if you need to, you can work that out, check it out. But really, it just needs to go back how it was before. There are certain basic tests that you can run on a coil pack to check its electrical properties, although my misfires were so intermittent that I very much doubted that I would be able to measure anything. I think this is the sort of thing that you would likely only get a result if you were almost running on 3 cylinders by the time you get round to it. But first you can check the resistance between the central prong on the socket and each of the 2 outer prongs. Apparently that should measure about this 0.7 or 0.8 ohm. And then you can measure the resistance across the coils. You do it between 1 and 4, and then 2 and 3 in pairs. It should be something in the ballpark of 10 kilo ohms. I don't know the exact spec for these actually, but as you see, the new one is measuring similarly to the old, around about 9 kilo ohms, for what that's worth. If you suspect the car wiring, you can also do some voltage and crank tests on that side, but I wasn't worried about that. I put some electrical protector spray on that plug, and then the pack back in place. It's easiest to get one screw in place first, finger tight, and then the others will locate more easily. Be careful you don't cross thread them. Now, the torque spec on these screws is 5.8 Newton meters if you want to be particular. Call it 6. I always like an excuse to get out my little mini 1/4 inch torque wrench because it doesn't get much use, and it's so cute compared to the big one I normally use. And put the plug back on. Check the metal clip moves down, which confirms that it's locked in place again. And then I put a tiny bit of silicone grease around the connector towers. Now this is just to help them seal against outside moisture. You don't want it to get on the actual contacts. Don't go shoving a whole glob in there and gum it all up. And then the leads go back on. Again, making sure that the order or arrangement is correct, and push them down until you get all the right clicks and know that they're on properly. And with the battery negative reconnected and tightened up again securely, I started the engine, checked it runs okay. That's it. Okay. Hope that was helpful. Have fun.